Hey guys, gals, friends, and pals, this is Paul EastXTwitch, and tonight we are checking out Doki Doki Literature Club Plus for Xbox. It is also on PlayStation, Switch, and Steam. So this is a visual novel. It's an adventure game, and apparently the story gets a little bit surprising and dark at times. So I did play the PC game once, the original version. This is an upgraded version, so it is a little different. Let's check it out. And no story spoilers, of course, in the chat. That would be wrong. Enter my name. So, we're going to be EastX tonight. Here goes. Hey! I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. The girl is Sayori, my neighbor and good friend since we were children. By the way, that is my daughter's middle name, Sayori. You know, the kind of friend you never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. That's basically me and Ikiazd. Just kidding. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. Uh-oh, cat. Hold on. Stupid. He's slinking around back there.
Yeah, he's under your chair.
Oh man, there's gonna be so much editing needed. Anyway. If she's gonna chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me. Hey, Vinny BT, it's good to see you. That's right. Yeah, we appreciate you sticking around and listening, bro. That's all anyone can really ask of our viewers these days. She's panting. She's cute. I overslept again, but I caught you this time. And I say, maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you. She says you say that like you were thinking about ignoring me. Uh-oh, that annoys her. That's mean, EastX. Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something. Fine, fine. But you did wait for me after all. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean even if you want to. Whatever you say, Sayori. Hee hee hee. We cross the street together and make our way to school. I notice you could save at any time. That's a good thing. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute.
Speckled.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a fair word. By the way, EastX, have you decided on a club to join yet? I think we know which club we're going to join. I told you already, I'm not really interested in joining any clubs. Club membership is a big part of the Japanese high school experience, in case you guys didn't know. In real high school, I was in the chess club for a while. I haven't been looking either. Oh yeah, and as a teacher, I have run a video game club at one of my former schools. That's not true. You told me you would join a club this year. Did I? I'm sure it's possible I did in one of our many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Man, I'm kind of a shabby friend.
No.
She's not that hot. Sayori likes to worry a little too much about me when I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. She says, I was talking about how I'm worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. That's thoughtful of her. Oh, that's cool, Icky. Yeah, and the same applies for the US, actually. A lot of people get sports scholarships. Like the top sports players, they all get scholarships to whatever college they want, in general. They totally do. I mean, they go after them, but...
Yes, they go after them.
Your happiness is really important to me, you know? Oh, she's so considerate. I know you're happy now, but I'd die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world. That word, NEET, that can describe the protagonist of Konosuba. It's like a shut-in, a recluse who doesn't have any social skills and they can't function as a normal member of society. Basically sort of like an incel, but without the hatefulness.
Yeah.
You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you. Alright, alright. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises, though. Will you at least promise you'll try a little? Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that. This is going to be a lot of reading. Yay! Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? Totally carefree, right, guys? More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside her head.
Hyperbole!
There's the classroom. By the way, they've upgraded the art to HD resolutions, and you can see it looks quite good. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall looking for an ounce of motivation.
Not in that classroom.
My character sucks a little bit.
But look, there's nothing there.
Well, because it's the end of class, and yeah, they probably use the same room for multiple rooms or whatever. So Yori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Hello! So Yori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. That's a shame, Lyle. So you don't have a good sports future for people in your country? I look around and realize I'm the only one left in the classroom. I thought I'd catch you coming out of the class, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed. I say, you don't need to wait up for me if it's going to make you late to your own club. I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, you could come to my club. Sayori? Yeah. There's no way I'm going to your club. That's rude. Why would I not even consider her club? Ah, meanie, she says. She's vice president of the literature club, which is definitely the coolest club to be in if a literature club exists, and I would totally run that at my school.
As long as
Not
I
that
get
I
to
would-
read everything.
I need to actually look into running a literature club if our school doesn't have one, because that would be delightful. And then we can all play this game sometimes. Maybe not. Anyway, I never was aware she had any interest in literature. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it'd be fun to help start a new club. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title vice president. Not bad. Sometimes that's how it happens. I think the same thing happened to Kamala Harris. Anyway, that said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less than hers. Yeah, I'm going to the anime club. Come on, please, she says. Why do you care? Well, I kind of told the club yesterday I would bring in a new member. Natsuki made cupcakes and everything. Hee hee. Lyle, what does Lyle have to say? We call it Dato? Is that how you say that, Lyle? Dato? Endurance sports, Asians can't compete with European. Are there not good Asian football players, soccer players? I can't tell if she's really that much of an airhead or if she's cunning enough to have planned all this out. Dato. I see. Interesting. I let out a long sigh. Fine, I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay? She says, yes, let's go. Let's do it. And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake.
Hey,
That's how it
at
goes.
least you got something out of it.
There you go. Oh. Interesting, Lyle. I decidedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs. Japan definitely takes soccer seriously. A section of the school I rarely visit. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the class door. Oh, a different angle. Nice.
Yeah, stuff.
Hey everyone, the new member is here. I told you, don't call me a new member. I glance around the room. Welcome to the Literature Club. It's a pleasure meeting you. Sayori always says nice things about you. Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. She's like the petite, fussy one, that's an anime archetype.
Archetype.
Yeah, archetype. Ah, EastX, what a nice surprise. Welcome to the club. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of hot girls. Full of incredibly cute girls.
Yep.
Well, of course, it's an anime game. What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it.
Ooh.
Sorry. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Oh, poor Lyle. I think you're one of the top people I know anywhere, so that's got to count for something. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student. She's also the one who made cupcakes, according to Sayori. Sayori says you can ignore her when she gets moody. She says that quietly into my ear, then turns back towards the other girls. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. This is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Don't say things like that. Smart and pretty. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. Well, it's nice to meet both of you. And it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? That's right. Great to see you again, EastX. Monica smiles sweetly. Where do I know her from? Nice skirt, Monica. We do know each other. We rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. She was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, and athletic. Basically, completely out of my league. But not in this game, maybe. Who knows? So, having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little weird.
Yeah.
You too, Monica. Come sit down. We made room for you at the table so you can sit next to me or Monica. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them. I'll get them. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Then how about I make some tea as well? No, thank you. I do not like tea. The girls have a few, unless it's twisted tea and you smack somebody with it. No, not really. The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. As Sayori mentioned, it's been widened so that there is one space next to Monica and one next to Sayori. They walk over to the corner of the room where Natsuki grabs a wrap tray and Yuri opens the closet. I take a seat next to Sayori. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Wah! That's where you could get down with the sickness thing. Anyway, Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. Awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, they do take the visual aspect of food decoration pretty seriously in Japan. The whiskers are drawn with icing, a little piece of chocolate were used to make ears. So cute.
Now I want to do
Hey,
it.
BX Latino Heave, we're so glad you're here, dude. We're still very early into the game, Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Monica says, I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki. Yeah, well, you know. Just hurry and take one. Sayori grabs some first, then Monica. I follow. Delicious. Sayori talks with her mouth full. Oh, has already managed to get icing on her face. We have a local friend who unfortunately doesn't close his mouth when he eats, and it's terrible. And it's too embarrassing to say anything to him about it, you know, but how could he not have learned this basic thing from childhood? I turned the cupcake around my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. She waited for me to take a bite. I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thanks, Natsuki. Why are you thanking me? It's not like haven't I heard this somewhere before? Made them for you or anything. I thought you technically did, so I already said, well, maybe. But not for you know, dummy. Alright. I give up on her weird logic and dismiss the conversation. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting the teapot down. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teacher gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? Does it?
Yes.
I guess.
For me, yes.
I mean, maybe hot chocolate would do that for me. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not.
Aww.
Insulted. Yuri looks away. Oh, I meant that, you know. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. Yuri smiles faintly in relief. Anyway, Monica raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me. So what made you consider the literature club? I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed really happy here, so that's okay. Don't be embarrassed. We'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Oh, I'm sorry it's so hot over there, BX Latino. Yeah, the heat wave is awful, and I feel really sorry for people who live in areas where they are unaccustomed to such heat. You know, like, we get that here in Texas,
That's
but
August.
yeah, we've got serious air conditioning, and we stay inside mostly, you know. Some people don't, but we certainly do. Anyway, weren't you a leader of the debate club last year? She says, well, you know, to be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. Nice. If it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. She's a really great leader. Yuri nods in agreement. Nice. I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. You guys know I have a degree in literature, so of course I appreciate the basic premise of the game. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. Hey, it grabs my attention.
Yeah.
You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. Yeah, I just finished reading the comics of Sweet Tooth. You know, it's 3 volumes. I just finished reading that a few days ago. Now I'm reading Justice League and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Much less of a serious book. You know, I needed something less depressing to read after that. I'm confident we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah! We'll do our best. You know it. Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have really worked hard to find these three. Maybe that's why they were all so delighted by the idea of a new member joining. Plus, I'm the only dude. Though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. Man, this player character's a jerk. So, EastX, what kind of things do you like to read? I'm like, hentai? No. Considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I quietly mutter to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head perks up. Looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that could change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing her sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Let's see. She traces her teacup. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. Oh, that's very cool of you, BXatino8. I mean, not everybody is going to enjoy being read to by a host like myself, but hopefully it will be a fun stream regardless. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing, so she likes fantasy. Telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yeah, that's true. She goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. That's alright. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? This is, I believe, a meta comment about the game. Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. Oh, I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. That's about right, isn't it? Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you? I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think or takes me into another world, I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is also very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a little while. I hate horror. You hate everything. Why's that? Well, She looks at me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called... Don't say it out loud. By this way, this game has a poetry element to it that we'll probably encounter soon. And give that back. Fine, fine. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are. Sayori sidles up behind Natsuki and puts her hands on her shoulders. I'm not cute! Yeah, right. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No! She averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Why not? Not a very confident writer yet? I understand how she feels, Yuri says. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. Got an itch on my nose. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. Uh-oh, Yuri doesn't like that idea.
Yeah.
I guess it's the same for Yuri. Oh, I wanted to read everyone's poems. We all sit in silence for a moment. Man, this is depressing already. Okay, I have an idea, everyone. Uh-oh. Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monica. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then next time we meet, we'll share them with each other. That way everyone's even. Yeah, let's do it. That's the spirit, Sayori. Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it'll help us get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, EastXT? Monica smiles warmly once again. Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? Now that we're back to the original topic of me joining the club, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind. I never said I would join this club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made a decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and you're not going to find one with just a group of prettier girls, I doubt. I lose my train of thought. All four girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But, I'm sorry, I thought... You all... I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls, yeah? Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. Famous
Yay.
last words. One by one, their eyes light up. Yes, I'm so happy. Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey, hey! You really did scare me for a moment. If you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be so mad. Then that makes it official. Welcome to the literature club. Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. She looks over once more. I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Hee hee. Yeah. It's a weird place to laugh. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Hey Steg, since we're already here, you want to walk home together? That's right, Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she always stayed after school for clubs. Sure, might as well. With that, the two of us depart the club room and make our way home. I'm thinking of the four girls, Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course Monica. Do you guys in the audience have a favorite yet out of these girls, like based on their appearance or their personality? If so, I'd love to hear about it. I would say out of the four, the club leader is a bit milquetoast at present. You know, just she's a go-getter apparently, but I think I like the purple-haired one the best.
I like the looks of the purple hair one, but I like the personality of the other one. Like if
The club leader?
Yeah.
Monica?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in the literature club? No, Icky needs more action to happen before he develops a preference. Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Wink. Alright. I just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. I guess that starts with writing a poem.
Roses are red, violets are blue.
It's time to write a poem. Pick words you think your favorite club member will like. Something good might happen with whoever likes your poem the most.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and by the way, writing specific poems or kinds of poems is apparently how you affect the storyline somewhat. And it helps you unlock the extra content, like the side stories that they've added to this version of the game. But for our very first playthrough, we're just going to pick whatever. So I said I like Yuri, so we're going to go with Graveyard. Parfait, Twirl, Intellectual, Variance, Desire, Treasure.
Intellectual.
I guess?
Game.
Okay, I'm looking for more horror words. Sunset, Rose, Hopeless. No, that's too dark. Shame.
Disarray is a pretty good one.
Okay, Brandy wants Disarray. Melancholy. There's a lot of sad words here. Eternity, Pout, Skirt, Giggle. Maybe Secretive.
Ooh.
Vertigo, Disoriented, Inferno, Nightgown. Kind of tempted towards Nightgown. It's not gonna. Covet, Strawberry, Suicide. Jeez. Determination, Effulgent. Now that's a word. What do you think, Roland?
Yeah.
Clouds, Prayer, Together, Lollipop, Heart, Unrequited, Journey. Definitely Journey. Empty, Explode, Vanilla, Unrestrained, Spinning, Passion. Sweet, Sunny, Cute, Bed. We're gonna go with Passion, I guess. Raven, Marshmallow, Infallible, that's a good word. Anxiety, Defeat, Ambient, Fluffy, Bunny.
Ooh, I like ambient.
Ambient, alright.
Just because.
Extraordinary, Holiday, Beauty, Smile, Awesome. Entropy, that's a very good word.
Ooh, yes.
We like entropy?
Yeah.
Science word. Massacre, jeez. I guess we'll go with Massacre because that's kind of a horror word.
Alright.
Tenacious, that's what I'm leaning towards. Meager, Misery, Lipstick. Yeah, we'll go with Tenacious.
Tenacious D.
Yeah. What do you think, guys, about this poetry mechanic? It's interesting, right? I mean, it's kind of unpredictable. If you're not using a guide, it will be hard to know what to pick. But I really think your first playthrough, you need to just go in blind and not use a guide until subsequent playthroughs.
Melody?
Melody? Yeah, why not? Achievement, by the way. Doki Doki Poetry Slam. Spend enough time during the poem minigame for the music to loop. Well, that was easy. Fear, Hurt, Precious Death, Nibbles, Summer, Dream. Memories, Existence, Agonizing, Sugar, Sparkle, Fireflies.
Yes.
Dark, Vacation, Peaceful, Vivid, Swimsuit, Dazzle, Fantasy, definitely Fantasy. Feather, Wonderful, Climax, Starscape, that's a good one. anime, lucky, sadness, universe, dance, skipping, nature, mythic universe.
Yeah.
Alright. Judgment, raindrops, vivacious,
Vivacious.
Doki Doki. Randy likes vivacious, but adventure is probably more of a...
I don't know.
Just maybe. That is a good word, though. Pleasure, disown, shopping, questions, sticky, forgive, pink. Fireworks, thinking.
Yeah.
Alright, here goes. We complete our poem. Let's see how it turned out. Hi again, EastX. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. I say, this might be a little strange, but at least I keep my word. I was the last one to come in, so everyone's already hanging out. Man, I'm always late to everything. Just like in real life. Thanks for keeping your promise, EastX. I hope this isn't too overwhelming for you. Make sure you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. Sayori told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year. Yeah, that's true. And last year, too. Man, I am pretty shameful. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. If you don't take it seriously, you won't see the end of it. What does that mean? Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Ooh. Ma. She finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature! She's right. Swiftly defeated, she plops back into her seat. Don't worry, guys. EastX always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with busy work without even asking, like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable. That's because your room is so messy, it's distracting. And you almost set your house on fire once. That's pretty bad. Is that so? You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. How come? You and EastX can become good friends too. Yuri says, Sayori. As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me in. Yuri even brought you something today, you know? Wait, Sayori. Me? Not really, Yuri says. Don't be shy. It's really nothing, she says. What is it? Never mind. Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. Well, I want to know. What do I do? I'm sorry, Yuri, I wasn't thinking. I guess that means it's up to me to rescue the situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place, so any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise.
That's very nice.
It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Itch. Yeah, I won't make a big deal if you don't want it to be. Well, here. Finally. She pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. This is how is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. Throws it away. Enthusiastically take the book. Throws it away. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled, I expect Monica to kick off scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be happening. Sayori and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was just waiting for this chance. Yay, Royal Bob, we're glad you made it! That's a perfect emoji for this game, isn't it, Royal Bob? Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. How's your day going, Bob? I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time, I'd feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. Looks like the same book she lent me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap, I think she knows me looking at her. She sneaks another glance and our eyes meet for a split second. Da-da-da. That only makes her hide her face deeper in the book. Sorry, I was just spacing out, I mutter. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. Uh-oh. I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Yeah, sure. He had a nap. We took a nap, earlier today. Yeah, my bad. He had a 4-week class as opposed to 2 weeks, and it's draining. Oh yeah, believe me, Bob, it is extremely draining over the course of a school year. 9 months of it? Oh boy.
Especially this 9 months.
I asked her how she ended up with 2 copies of the same book. She stopped at the bookstore yesterday. And she happened to buy 2 of them. Sure. There's something fairly obvious here that she's not telling me. but I let it go. I'm so sorry, Wolfblade.
That's the first thing he said when we woke up.
I know, as soon as I woke up, I felt awful about it. I missed you, bro. You know it. I definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear.
Future reference, let me know.
Wolfblade told me he's really good at Tetris, so he's gonna...
Ooh.
Yeah, he's gonna practice up so he can play 3-player Tetris with us. Just
Okay.
can't wait. Anyway, Yuri says I might have a hard time putting this book down. He says, wait, what? What's the book about, anyway? Well... Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. It's titled Portrait of Markov. Is that a real book? There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front. I just want to make sure I don't
Illuminati.
accidentally give it away.
I'm sorry. Had to.
Lordy. It's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. As soon as she does, her life gets really strange. She's targeted by these people who escaped from a human experiment prison. Wow. Do you really, Royal Bob? That sounds interesting. While her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships, and her life starts to fall apart. I'm like, wow, that's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. She gently giggles all of a sudden. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I totally forgot Yuri's into those things. She says, those stories challenge you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals or their own philosophy that they believe in, you know? Then suddenly, when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans.
I like it.
She was rambling. She's sorry. Hey, don't apologize. Interesting. Royal Bob says he likes the big picture, but that it takes too long. You know, Royal Bob, reading is very good for you. I've always thought you should read more.
Specifically you.
Yes, you, Bob, you. I haven't lost interest or anything. She says she guesses it's alright. But she's going to let me know she has a problem. She lets things like books and writing fill her thoughts. She forgets to pay attention to other people. So she's sorry if she says something strange.
Aww.
And please stop her if she talks too much. And I'm like, I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. Yeah, which is a great thing.
Yes.
The least I can do is listen. That's one of my favorite things about Brandy is that she loves to read.
Exactly.
It's a literature club, after all. Well, that's true. I might as well get started reading, right? See, Bob, if you mean that, that's a silly thing to say. If you're joking, it's okay. But yeah, you shouldn't think that in real life.
Super, uber, mega nerd right here. Love
What are you
it.
saying? Yeah. Like, we all should be proud of our hobbies and just embrace them and live with them and never let anyone make us feel bad about it. And a lot of times the people who are making us feel bad about our feelings and interests are ourselves and not actually other people, you know? Like, okay, maybe one time somebody said something that hurt your feelings a little or whatever, but now that you're a grown-up, you can just do and like whatever you want, and you don't need to feel bad about it unless there's actually something harmful about it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieve it. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right?
Aw, you're gonna leave it to her. That's good.
Yeah, well, you know, Royal Bob, the game has some kind of option to skip past text that you've already read, apparently. So yeah, if you make a port is... I mean, if you have to replay it, you could skip parts that you've already replayed and just get to the decision parts, is what I'm told. So I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Ah, yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. Oh, she's sorry. She's so shy. It's not that I don't want you to, I'm just not used to it. Reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you. And, like, reach over and grab her chest. Just let me know if this is a distraction, okay? Anyway. I open the book and start the prologue. That would be wrong to do. Anyway. I soon understand what she means about reading in company. It's if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. Yeah, I think it's really an option, Bob. We'll have to check it out. If this playthrough takes less time than the stream, we can check it out. Anyway, this is not a bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. She's in the corner of my eye. I realize she's not actually looking at her own book, so I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Hey, that's kind of fun. Sorry, I was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? Yeah, you do. Smack. Anyway, don't do that. I don't really mean to... Sorry. I mean... Boy, she's apologizing for apologizing. Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk over against hers, then hold my book between the two of us. I think the grammar was wrong on that sentence, but anyway. I suppose so. She timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book. Just put your arm right around her, EastX. Anyway, I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. She's helping. It's cooperative reading. She takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. We don't need grammar where we're going, you say, Bob? So I do the same thing with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. Yeah, it's a little too much detail.
I was wondering about that.
It's like, okay, we're reading the book together. You
Yeah.
don't have to write a novel about it. We're huddled even closer than before. It's actually kind of distracting. It's as if I could feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she is in the corner of my vision. Yes, she is, to me, the hottest of these girls, so that would be a little distracting. Are you ready? Yeah. To turn the page. Oh, sorry. I think I got a bit distracted. Glance over Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not used to reading, right? True, I'm still on, like, the first sentence, and she's read both pages. She doesn't mind waiting for me. It's the least she can do, since I've been so patient with her. We continue reading, and she doesn't ask me if I'm ready to turn the page. I just assume she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. Turn it by my own volition. Yeah, that's right. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, it feels almost like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it. Hey, Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second guesses all the things that she says and does, like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see in her head or anything, but that's kind of reminiscent of your own mannerisms. I see. Yuri remains silent for a moment. But EastX, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. Oh, that's so embarrassing that you think that. God, Yuri. I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I didn't really know you were self-conscious. She appears to be self-conscious about everything. I guess I meant that it's kind of cute. What are you saying all of a sudden? Now she likes it. Okay, everyone. Monica says it's time to share our poems with each other. We might have enough time if we wait too long. Yuri exhales. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kind of down. Sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. Oh, it's not that. It's fine. She releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Ooh. Alright. I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Would you prefer I only read with you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of like us in Borderlands with our friends. I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. She's just going with the flow. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. She's giving me an assignment. Alright. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book and slip it back into my bag. Monica says, did you remember to write a poem? Yeah. So our club's got daily meetings. At a real school, I think it would be more like twice a week or once a week. I can't believe... I mean, at an American school, anyway. I can't believe I agreed to do this. I couldn't find much inspiration since I've never done this before. Now she says, why don't we find someone to share with? So Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Yep.
Night, Mombox.
Good night, Monkbox. Sorry about lulling you to sleep with my reading. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. You're gonna miss all the dark, disturbing stuff, Monkbox, but that's okay. We'll fill you in later. It's time for a poetry slam. Who should I show my poem to first? Well, of course we're going to show it to Yuri first. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I start with her. I can trust her opinion to be fair. tried to write one she would like, but it's hard. Her eyes lighten up as she reads it. Exceptional. What was that? That's the spirit, Heaven smiled. Did I say that out loud? She covers her mouth, but she ends up covering her whole face. That's cute. Ooh, he's gonna hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? She takes a breath. So what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Hey.
Good job.
We did a good job. Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. She stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, she trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers, and having been through that myself, I learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing is new writers try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic, and they form-fit the two together. The end result is both the style and expressiveness are weakened. Wow. She finds her train of thought, and her demeanor changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you could be blamed for. There's so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. And yes, by the way, I find writing poems to be very difficult in real life. Heaven smile, it's been a pretty good day. I wrote 3 articles today at Co-Optimus. I hope you will check them out. I wrote about, let's see, what 3 games were they? Vermintide 2, Warhammer Vermintide 2. So Ryan definitely needs to read that one too. Then, what else? What other games? I've completely forgotten the other 2.
Tetris one's yesterday, right?
Yeah, Tetris was yesterday. But good stuff, good stuff. Grounded, yeah, I tried out Grounded for a minute. That's a game that came out apparently last year and no one knew. So there was an update for that. And then some other one. When you write like 2 or 3 stories a day, they blend together a little bit. It's like, did I do this today, yesterday, last week? Anyway, but it was a very successful day of writing. Then we took a nap. Now here we are with you guys, and I'm glad to be hanging out with you. Yes, it is a game based on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, apparently. I tried to find a multiplayer game, and it was totally dead. Hey, Yup 84. Yup, I'm not gonna lie, you're not gonna like this game at all. But, anyway, Yuri says, I also hope everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki's a little biased, though. Never mind, I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. Yuri apologizes for everything. I don't know who she's apologizing to. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process. It's a rare opportunity for her, which is kind of funny. After all, isn't this a literature club? So here's her poem. Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one, the last remaining straight light to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe. Calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Well, I mean, it's not terrible. Well, thank you. Yep, apparently this has a pretty interesting and shocking storyline, but we're still building up to that. She's sorry for her handwriting. I wasn't thinking that at all. She took a long time to read it. Well, I don't read script very often. Is that like cursive? I actually think your handwriting is pretty. She says it's a relief. And I tell her I like the poem even though it's short. It's very descriptive. She says she usually writes longer ones. She'll be honest. Since it's her first time sharing, she wanted to write something more mild. Something easy to digest. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? She says the story isn't about a ghost at all. Wow, I must have totally missed the point. Remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. Yeah, I guess so. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. Maybe the subject is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, yeah. Soul Eater Not. You know, I haven't actually heard of that. You can read more than just English. Royal Bob's cursive isn't another language. That's funny, though. Yeah, cursive is actually a little hard to read nowadays because I've totally left it behind in my life. I think cursive is lame. But anyway, lingering in her past, unable to let go of the past. Soon be left with nothing. The text and letter looks like it was written by Octodad, like how to draw straight lines among anime girls. Very interesting observation there, Royal Bob. Yeah, it was, I mean, maybe a little difficult to read, but not that bad. And Soul Eater Not, I haven't heard of that. Is that like a sequel to a previous Soul Eater series or what? Yep. Anyway, I tell her it's impressive. She says it's nothing. Yours was impressive too. And I say I could learn a thing or two from her.
Yeah.
Boom.
So?
She says I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, EastX.
Oh.
Wow. Now who should I show my poem to next? Man,
Your
I don't know.
friend.
What
Go
difference
with
is...
Sayori.
Sayori? Okay, I don't even know what
Natsuki
difference
likes
it makes.
you. She doesn't like that she likes you, but she does. But
You
this
think
is
so?
yes, I know so.
I think, well,
But
we have the
anyway.
manga thing in common. She says it's a good poem. Am I sure it's my first time? And I say it's not that good. Why would I write poems in my spare time? She says that's why it's impressive. But she was afraid I wouldn't take it seriously or even do it. So she's happy that I wrote one. She's glad I'm a part of the club. I'm like, yeah, I'm in front of you, of course. I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise. She says, deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this for other people. That's something that only really good people do.
Aw.
Yeah, maybe so. I'm not sure if she sees the full picture of my motive here. But I can't deny she's the reason I joined, knowing how much it means to her. And she says she's going to make sure I have lots of fun here. That'll be her way of thanking me. If we can't finish a whole playthrough before I get tired of reading, I'm going to be embarrassed. Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. And I say, we'll see about that. Alright. Is this easier to read, Royal Bob? It's not cursive. Her poem says, Dear sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning makes me feel like you miss me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed. Making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above. The sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever. But I'm not mad.
Okay.
Interesting. Interesting. Sayori, this is just a guess, but did you wait until this morning to write this? No.
Yes.
Just a little. You can answer just a little bit to a yes or no question. She forgot to do it last night. Well, that makes me feel a little better. Don't be mean. I still try my best. Just the view from a different character at a later time, Yup says. Still has the main characters in it from Soul Eater. Well, that sounds interesting. And did you say it was is it a really good show, Yup? I mean, how did you like it? Anyway, I say it came out nice, or it sounds just like you. Especially that last line. Sayori says, I made eggs and toast. Even though you're late to school, it's bad to skip breakfast. I get all cranky. I can't argue with that. Thanks for showing me. This was so much fun. Ah, he says it's good. Yeah. Have any of you guys in the audience seen Soul Eater? What about you, Heaven Smile? Don't you like anime too? She says next time she's going to write the best poem ever. And I say I'll look forward to it. Who should I show it to next? Natsuki or Monica?
She said that Monica would like it, so...
Monica? Alright. Hi, EastX. Having a good time? Glad to hear it. Since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions, like activities or things we could do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring them up. I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'm going to be afraid. I'm much better off going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Want to share your poem? In real life, I'm the kind of person who would make suggestions quite often. Sometimes people get annoyed at you for that, but other times it's what they really wanted. Anyway, it's embarrassing, but okay. Don't worry. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's the sort of barrier we have to get past. I hand her my poem. Great job, EastX. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. Not sure why, but I didn't expect for you to go so deep. I guess I underestimated you. I say, it's easy for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in some effort. She says, that's not fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. She did seem to appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Sayori, who likes simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness, Yuri likes when readers are left to find their own meaning. It's very challenging to write like that effectively. It could take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked, though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much. Do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this, I say. And she says that's okay. She'd love to see me try new things. That's the best way to find the style that suits you. Everything else might be a bit biased. Oh, everyone else might be biased towards their own styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them. Anyway, you want to read my poem now? I'm not very good. I say, you sound pretty confident for somebody who says they're not good. She says she has to sound confident, but she doesn't always feel that way.
Huh.
At least she's truthful. Hole and Wall. Wow. A story about, I'm not going to say. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the spackle protrudes? A noisy neighbor? An angry boyfriend? I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retinas. Already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep. Stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in. Wow, that's weird. Monica asks what I think. It's very freeform. I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. Yeah, that kind of style is pretty popular nowadays. A lot of poems put their emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. Slam poetry. What was the inspiration behind this? I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems. Yeah, something like that. Bad Religion has a song called Epiphany.
Yes, they do.
I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later, and that is good advice. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So move your hand and go with the flow. Thanks for listening, she says. Time to show Natsuki. Well, it's about what I expected from someone like you. That's a little blunt. Geez, she hated my poem. Excuse me, it's not like I said it was bad. It just didn't evoke any emotions. So basically it's not cute enough for your taste? You want to get smacked? Oh. Anyway, I guess I need to show you mine. Not that you'll like it. Wow, this one is much simpler than all the others. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can try. But that's about it. What do you think, Lyle? Can you write a poem as good as that? Tell the truth now.
Yes.
Yeah, I told you that you weren't going to like it. I like it. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it?
Well,
Because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated, so people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? And I say, your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly, she replies. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening, so I decided to write about it. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yep, I don't think there's going to be supernatural stuff, but I could be wrong. There may be a little bit. But somebody is going to die eventually, for sure, though. That's my prediction. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then I made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. I said, wow, I guess you put more effort into it than I realized. And she says, that's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, I guess not. I humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but she's proud and I'm not going to take that away from her.
that's sweet.
I guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. That was more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone's judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club. I guess that's what I got myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monica are happily chatting.
No, he's its fellow student.
Heaven smile, did you miss everything up until now? That would explain why you never replied to me.
The only boy with 4 hot girls.
Yep, 4 hot girls, 1 boy. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their poems. That's alright, Heaven smile, we still love you. We're just glad you're here, you know? As they read in tandem, I watch their expressions change. Heaven smile, I did ask you if you had watched that anime that Yup was talking about. What was it called? Soul Taker Not? Natsuki's eyebrows get frustrated. Yuri gets sad. What's with this language? Eh? They don't like each other's poems. Natsuki says it's nothing. She dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. Yeah, Heaven Smile, I don't really know except that it's a spin-off or an alternate viewpoint of the stuff that happened in the main Soul Taker series. Guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language. I was trying to say something nice. These two don't get along. You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? It didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it, and EastX did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, Yuri says, I appreciate it, but I've spent a long time establishing my style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon. Yeah. Yuri says, EastX liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Husky stands up. Oh, I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Oh, are they going to be competitive about me?
Probably. Looks like it.
Unfortunately, no. Yep, there is no bouncing. That's not why. The game's not trying to be sexy. It's trying to be... Oh, gosh, I don't know. It's trying to lull you into a false sense of security or something. Or get you invested so that you care more about what happens later. This music is catchy. Maybe you're just jealous that EastX appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. How do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? Wow, those two arguing is great. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Oh, burn!
Oh!
Ooh. Is everyone okay?
No!
Heaven smile, we can only hope the Undertaker is in it. I mean, he's a classic WWE wrestler after all. He says, I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as EastX started showing up. Wow.
Wow.
Yikes. Natsuki! Did they really? Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you. They tell her to stay out of it. I don't like fighting, guys. Suddenly they turn to me as if they just noticed I was there. She's trying to make me look bad. That's not true. Oh, that's pretty cool, Heaven Smile. I've only watched a little wrestling, like probably in total maybe 8 hours worth, so I don't have very many strong opinions about it. She started it. But, I do like it in general. Watching it with friends is a fun experience. Then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point in making your poems all convoluted for no reason? The meaning should jump out at the reader and not force them to have to figure it out. Well, I don't know. Some of my friends were into wrestling. That guy I was friends with for a while, Matt, who eventually went crazy on us and left our community. He was really into wrestling, so I'd try to be supportive of him. And my ex, Deborah, was into it, and, I like to be supportive of her, too. Yeah, there's a lot of drama. There's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. You tell her, Yuri. It's the only way to convey complex feelings and meaning most effectively. Avoiding them is not only unnecessarily limiting yourself, it's a waste. You understand that, right, EastX? Well, how'd I get dragged into this? It's not like I know anything about writing. Whomever I agree with, they'll probably think more highly of me. They used whomever correctly. That's nice. Help me, Sayori, or do I just agree with Yuri? I'm just going to go with supporting Yuri on this playthrough.
Oh.
Natsuki, you're right that I liked your poem. See? Wait. That's not an excuse for you to be so mean. Shouldn't pick a fight just because someone's opinion's different. That's not what happened at all. Yuri wouldn't even take my poem seriously. I understand. Yuri, you're a seriously talented writer. It's no secret that I was impressed. But here's the thing. No matter how simple or refined someone's writing style is, they're still putting feelings into it, and it becomes something really personal. That's why Natsuki felt threatened when you said her poem was cute. Yuri says, I didn't notice that I was doing that. I'm sorry.
I thought you were on Yuri's side.
Yeah, this is not especially supportive. But Natsuki, you took it way too far. Here's where I'm building up to that.
But this is true. Yeah.
Yuri means well, and if you just told her how you felt, then this wouldn't happen in the first place. Kentucky Route Zero. Oh no, Heaven Smile, you told me about that, didn't you? Can you remind us about it? Because I'm afraid I took a nap and I'm still a bit tired. This wouldn't have happened in the first place. But it's a game you recommended, right? She says it was her that... Natsuki, I think that's enough. You both said some things you didn't mean. Yuri apologized. Don't you think you should too? That's right, Icky. KFC. A story-focused point-and-click. Did you say it was on Xbox, Heaven Smile? There is a KFC game on Steam, and it's free, I think. In the end, nobody took her side. She's trapped, being defiant only because she can't handle the pressure. I end up feeling bad for her. Sorry, says, sometimes when I'm hurt, it helps to take a walk and clear my head. You know what? I'm gonna do that, Natsuki says. It'll spare me from having to look at all your faces right now. Without warning, Natsuki snatches her poem up from the desk and storms out. She crumbles up her poem in her hands and throws it in the trash. Dang, she really didn't need to do that. I look across the room. Yuri has her chin buried in her hands while she stares down at her desk. I gingerly approach and sit next to her. Everything alright? She's so embarrassed. She can't believe she acted that way. And I say, no, I don't hate you. How could anyone not have gotten frustrated after being treated like that? You handled it as well as anyone could. Do it by myself, Hen smiled. Why is that? Is it very introspective? I told her I don't think less of her, and she believes me. And says I'm too kind. Interesting. It's nothing. Yeah, I mean, it sounds good from what you're saying, Heaven Smile. That one thing that Natsuki said about, you know, I would never do anything so shameful. She's telling me she's not stuffing her bra. That's very considerate of her not to do that. What did Natsuki say? Never mind that. She can't say it. I'm gonna go make some tea. Make enough for more than one person, okay? Yuri's pretty great. Okay, everyone, it's just about time to leave. How'd you feel about sharing poems? It was a lot of fun. I'd say it was worth it. It was alright. Mostly. EastX, how about you? I'd say the same. It was a neat thing to talk about with everyone. In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. So your poems will turn out even better since you learned something. And I say, I did learn a little bit more about what everyone likes. I'll try to do a better job impressing the ones I want to impress. I nod with newfound determination. Ready to walk home? Yeah, let's go. Sayori beams at me. It's been a while since we spent this much time together. I can't say I'm not enjoying it. Sayori, about what happened earlier. You know, between Yuri and Natsuki. Does that kind of thing happen often? No, that's really the first time I've seen them fight like that. I promise they're both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you? Nah, I just wanted your opinion. I can see why they make good friends with you. She says, you know, EastX, it's nice that I get to spend time with you in the club. I think seeing you get along with everyone is what makes me the happiest. Wow.
She's very nice.
I think everyone really likes you too. Hee. Every day's gonna be so much fun. It looks like Sayori still hasn't caught on to the kind of situation I'm in. Sure, being friends with everyone's nice, but does it really need to stop there? Hey, we'll just have to see what the future holds, Sayori. Pat her on the shoulder. Okay.
I don't know. She seems like y'all grew up together. You've helped her do, you know, things. It's kind of like a sister-brother-ish. You know, where your best friend's next door and it doesn't matter that they're a girl.
It does seem to be like that, yes. Yeah. We've been playing Doki Doki Literature Club Plus for Xbox. It is also on PlayStation, Switch, and Steam. It's a very interesting visual novel, but there is some weird, freaky horror stuff and a lot of meta stuff that comes later. Like, not super horror, but just weird stuff. Like, the game really changes in tone a lot, eventually. And, you know, I'm sorry we couldn't show you all that in just one stream, but hopefully you've enjoyed seeing what this experience is like. you can kind of imagine where it goes from there, or hopefully eventually play the game on your own. So, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Thank you for letting me read so much that my voice got hoarse. That's a delightful experience. It's just like being a teacher, you know, which I do all the time anyway, right? So, it's been great hanging out with you all. We'll see you on Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And remember, don't hate, appreciate.
Bye.
So let's thank all the individual people. We saw Vinny BT, BX Latino Heat, Wolfblade, Thyrenia, Ikiazd, Heaven Smile, and Yup84. I feel like that was all of our friends, unless I'm missing anybody. Bunch of cool people hanging out with us no matter what we stream. That is the idea, guys, because we love streaming all kinds of different things. And this game did just come out, and it's kind of it's an interesting game, so it's worth streaming, even if it's very hard to do, and I probably didn't do a very good job.
No,
But
you did great. I mean, it's just what it is.
But yeah, it's just so great to see you guys every week, so I really appreciate that.